Hey guys, it's your girl Tina. I want to go ahead and shout out Jamel Malik. Jamel sent me this story. It's going viral. It's about a teacher. She decided to do her students' hair in the classroom and she posted on social media. I want you guys to check out the caption that she wrote and what she did to this child's hair. Go ahead and check this out. I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary. Alright, so you guys just seen the picture and what the teacher posted on Facebook. So once that hit the internet, a lot of folks had a lot of opinions. A lot of people were saying that the teacher was foul. She had no business posting that. You know, why she putting this on social media. And then shortly after that, somebody else posted this comment, kind of basically explaining the situation. I want you guys to read what this person wrote about what really supposedly happened. I want y'all to check this out. Then I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary. Alright, so you guys just read what that person wrote. So the person is saying that the picture was initially posted in some private Facebook group and then supposedly somebody took it off and then posted on the internet, but that the parents gave the teacher permission and that the parents were okay with this. And since then, nobody else can get a validated story from the parent. Nobody, has seen anything on social media where the parent is like, that's my child and I gave permission. I feel like the person who wrote that comment was either the teacher who got tired of getting drugged or somebody just making up some bullshit. Because my thing is this. What that teacher wrote in that post to me, I don't see a parent being cool with that. I don't see a parent giving somebody permission to shame them. The teacher could have very well just wrote down that, as you guys know, I'm a special needs teacher and one of my students, she's having a really hard time sitting down. So her mom asked me, could I do her hair in the classroom? So we decided to make it a teaching lesson for all the kids on, how to do quick styles. So instead of saying something to that effect, but instead the teacher chose to write it out like this. This is what kind of caught my attention. This is why I don't feel like a parent would have gave this teacher permission to write it out like this. The teacher says, so one of my students came to school today with her hair full of knots, lints, and ridiculously tangled. It looked like it hadn't been touched the entire holiday break. I'm a good reader of bullshit. So right there and then it's telling that the teacher's throwing shade at the parents. She's trying to basically humiliate them in a passive-aggressive way. So I don't feel like the parents gave this woman permission. I feel like whoever wrote that initial comment, I feel like either that was a teacher who wrote that comment and she's just trying to deflect because people are calling her out. I just don't believe that at all. My thing is this, and this is not to take away from teachers. I love teachers. I have friends who are teachers. I know teachers who have had to be nurses. They've had to be counselors. They've had to be seamstress. They've had to be, everything. Therapists. They really step up and take care of their children in their classroom like they were their own children because every child has different needs. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely understand and I appreciate the good teachers out there. While I'm saying that this woman did this, I'm not saying that she didn't do this from the kindness of her heart. I'm not saying that she didn't care about this student. But my thing is once you post it on social media, I have to give you the side eye. Because when you're doing something genuine and it's coming from the heart, you don't need validation. You don't need a pat on the back. You know what I'm saying? That's the same way I feel with these so-called prank videos on homeless people. If you're generally trying to help a homeless person, you don't need a camera crew there. You don't need to upload onto YouTube. You don't need the video to go viral where you make millions of dollars off of helping the homeless. When you're genuinely trying to help somebody, you just help them. You don't need any fanfare. You don't need any accolades. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not buying this story that, she just did this out of the kindness of her heart. I feel like she just did this for social media attention like most people do nowadays. Because I know some damn good teachers and they wouldn't have posted this. Had she told the story, I could be like, oh, okay, well, that's sweet. But when you're posting the picture and you're doing all that extra stuff, regardless of the little girl's face was showing or not, I don't feel like she should have posted that. And I do not believe that she had permission from the parents just based on how she wrote that text. Based on what she wrote, I don't see any parent co-signing that. And another thing, a lot of people are being very judgmental towards the parents and saying, they're ratchet, lazy ass parents, I don't put it past them. Some people don't need to have kids. That kind of bothers me as well because people are doing a lot of assumptions. I'm going to tell y'all the story about my situation, okay? When my oldest was young, he was about 3 at the time. My oldest son had mid-back length hair. And so I used to keep his hair braided. And I ended up getting really sick. I was about 23 years old. This was before I even had my youngest son. I got really sick. I ended up getting blood clots and I almost died. And they ended up saving me, but I had 3 blood clots. I had one in my right arm, I had one in my left leg, and I had one in my lung. And it took close to a year for them to finally dissolve it using morphine. But the worst part was after I finally came out the hospital. I was in the hospital for almost a month. I came out the hospital. I still could not use my arm. My arm was like literally, it was permanently like this for 2 months. I had to go to physical therapy. I had to learn to reuse my arm. I had to learn to re-walk. I was out of work for damn near 6 months. It was the worst time of my life, and I was 23 years old. And I had just been partying in South Beach like literally 3 months before this. But I ended up getting blood clots from, I had the patch. So I ended up getting blood clots from birth control. So I say that to say this. I had to learn to reuse my arm. I couldn't braid my son's hair. Okay, and he had really long hair. I couldn't comb his hair. I couldn't wash his hair. I couldn't do shit. I couldn't even take care of my own damn hair, let alone my son's hair. So a lot of times, either his hair was wild, it was everywhere, or if his dad could, his dad would try and put it in a ponytail, but he couldn't braid. So sometimes my daycare worker, Miss Phillips, would sometimes braid my son's hair or help me maintain his hair because he had so much hair. But I couldn't do it because my arm was permanently like this, and I was going through physical therapy, and it hurt. It was probably like the worst pain I ever felt in my life, seriously. And you never know people's situations. Could this parent have just been lazy and didn't want to do their child's head? Possibly. But people might have thought that when they saw my son, that I was lazy and I just didn't want to do his hair. But what they didn't know is I was damn near bedridden for months. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't leave the house. I couldn't do his hair. I couldn't walk. I couldn't drive. I couldn't do shit. You know, so you just never know what somebody's situation is. You know, I think for the most part, parents love their kids, and you don't want your kids to be picked on. You don't want people to look at your kids as, you know, being dirty or unkempt or not being taken care of. You know, especially when you take great pride in yourself and keeping yourself up. So we don't know. She might have, maybe during a holiday break, maybe her mother or her father was sick and she had to go stay with a relative who didn't know how to do her hair, or who didn't know how to do her hair, who didn't know how to braid. And that's why her hair was like that. Or maybe her mom just, did not have time to get to her hair during break because a family emergency came up. Somebody could have died. Anything could have happened. And I think that's what I didn't like, is that when she posted that message and she posted that picture, it left room for so much interpretation. You have folks dragging the parents and everything else. But like I said, you never know people's situations, because I've been in that situation where my son's hair could not get done. I physically could not do his hair, and I used to have other people help me do his hair, help me style his hair, help me braid his hair and everything else. So if you're going to do something, do it because you genuinely want to do it. Do it because you genuinely care. Do it because you genuinely want to make that child happy and boost up their self-esteem so they don't have hair all over their face and things like that. Not because you need a pat on the back. So I wasn't feeling that. I just wasn't feeling this whole post, because I think back to when I was 23, had my daycare worker took a picture of my son's hair, how his hair would look at times, and try to blast me on the internet like I was an unfit mom, or like, I didn't care about my child, that would break my heart. Like, you don't know what people are going through. That's the part of social media that I hate, that people can just post anything. There doesn't have to be a backstory. You don't need to know what happened. People can just basically say anything and folks run with it. And like I said, whoever initially posted that long ass, rebuttal about how the child with special needs and the person had permission, I'm not buying that. I feel like it was that teacher just trying to clean up her mess. I'm just not buying that, because no parent, no good parent would allow somebody to write what that teacher wrote and be okay with it. You're not about to sit here and talk about how I didn't do my child's hair, how my child had lint in it, how I hadn't touched my child's hair in weeks. You're basically judging me and trying to humiliate me on social media on the DL. I read through a lot of bullshit, so I wasn't feeling that at all. I'm glad she did the child's hair. I'm sure that, helped the child's self-esteem. But do something because you genuinely want to do it, not because you need attention from social media. So anyways, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire story. That story just bothered me because it brought back a lot of memories, and especially when I was reading the comments, like, damn, really, I don't know what people be going through. People just like to assume shit with people. People just like to assume stuff about people 24/7. So anyways, let me know your thoughts. All right, deuces.